Folks, good evening and welcome back to the Snakebite. It is our weekly sports show that airs every single Wednesday at 5. I'm John Kristovich with James Simpson saying thank you so much for joining us here on this Wednesday evening. Boy, every game now has just extreme ramifications when we look at the playoffs. A lot of conference teams going at it. It has gotten really exciting. We're going to talk about all that and more. Here's this week's edition of the Snakebite. Well, as I mentioned, busy week and a lot of very important games here in the Sunshine State Conference. The Moxons have been involved in quite a few big ones. Men's and women's lacrosse teams with a pair of games this week. Baseball and softball just the same as we take a look at our weekly rundown of scores right here. Boy, lots of our spring teams in action here, and per usual, lots of W's here for this Moxon team. So go ahead and take a pause on your screen and look at the results from this week. A lot of good stuff. Most recently, the men's lacrosse team picked up a 15-12 victory over Florida Tech.
Yes, they did, John. Well, after falling to Rollins College on the road last week, the men's lacrosse team rebounded with an important 15-12 victory over Florida Tech on Saturday night. After a lengthy lightning delay and extensive senior day ceremonies, the teams finally faced off at about 9:45 p.m., setting the stage for what would be an epic battle under the lights at Barron Field. Matt Flamenspeck and Nolan Ty each had 4 goals in the outing, while Sean Nolan tacked on 3. Defensively, Nick Shannon and Zach Fitzgerald had 3 caused turnovers apiece, while goalkeeper Michael Simone was sharp in the cage. With the win, the Mocs moved to 4-2 in the SSC and clinched a berth in the Sunshine State Conference Tournament. In all likelihood, the Mocs will face the University of Tampa Spartans on the road next Thursday in the first round of the SSC tournament. But there's an off chance that the Mocs travel to Winter Park to take on the Rollins College Tars. We shall see. Final regular season game of the year, though, will be this Saturday on the road at Palm Beach Atlantic.
Well, I'll tell you what, James, by the time those teams faced off at 9:45, the lightning had stopped, but sparks sure did fly. Well, let's take a look at the women's lacrosse team now, which has won 3 straight contests against ranked opponents. They've also secured a bid in the Sunshine State Conference Tournament that will take place next Thursday, and then the championship game on Sunday. After beating St. Leo on the road last week 17-10, the Mocs exploded offensively in a 26-14 victory over number 13 nationally ranked Embry-Riddle. Jackie Stoller and Haley Dalio each had 5 goals, while Madison Tare recorded a hat trick to secure her 100th career goal as a Moxon. For her efforts this past week, Jackie Stoller was named the Sunshine State Conference Player of the Week for the first time in her career, as the Mocs now mostly control their own destiny moving forward. With a 4-1 record, the Mocs are going to face Florida Tech tonight and then Palm Beach Atlantic on Saturday. Those teams have a combined 1-9 conference record. So FSC will more than likely take the 2nd seed in the Sunshine State, and they can clinch a home game in the tournament with a victory tonight on the road.
Speaking of winning, the baseball team continued their winning ways, defeating Nova Southeastern in 2 of the 3 games in their series this past weekend. The Mocs continued their offensive dominance in the series, scoring 28 total runs, including 17 in a 10-run win in the final game of the series. They fell in the second game 5-4 after a 4-run 9th inning by Nova, but now sit 3rd in the conference behind 2 teams in Tampa and Rollins, who are both ranked within the top 10 in all of Division II. Florida Southern remained hot with a midweek victory over Florida Tech last night, knocking off the Panthers behind a Jeff LaCorey 3-run bomb and a pitching gem from Mitchell Leroy. The Mocs look to continue to climb the rankings as they return to in-conference action this Friday at historic Henry Field against Embry-Riddle.
And you saw there on your screen the most recent South Region rankings, which the Moxons will hope they qualify for the NCAA tournament at the end of the year. Well, let's look at the other Diamond softball team returned to action last weekend with a 3-game series versus Nova Southeastern. In the series, the Mocs lost 2 of 3 games, but they won the 2nd game of the series 2-0. In the 2 losses, the Mocs allowed a total of 15 runs, only scoring 6 themselves. They currently sit 8th in the Sunshine State Conference with an in-conference record of 9-15 against some very good teams, an overall record of 22-22. Despite the series loss, the Mocs saw pitcher Mel Rogers put on an absolute clinic in the pitcher circle. She allowed no runs and just 3 hits over the course of 10 innings in Saturday's doubleheader. Our Nick Merritt got a chance to talk to Mel after the series.
So I'm here with Mel Rogers, who pitched 10 innings in a doubleheader this weekend against Nova Southeastern. How would you rate your performance this afternoon?
I think it was really good. I thought all of my pitches were on, my velocity was up, and, I just was dialed in the 10 innings that I did throw.
10 innings pitched, 3 hits against, and you got the win in a shutout against Nova. How do you use his performance to build for next weekend?
You know, you just got to keep working at practice. You know, we won this one, but you just got to keep working. It doesn't just end at the one that you win. So you just got to keep practicing your craft and just got to keep going.
2 series left in the season, both on the road. How do you get some momentum and finish the season strong?
We just got to keep doing what we're doing. We know how to play. We know the easiest thing, catch and throw. We just got to have confidence and apply ourselves. You know, we have a great defense and a great offense, so we just got to continue to do what we're doing, you know, the first game that we did today.
Always good stuff from Nick and Mel Rogers. They will look to bounce back. The Moxons will in their final 2 series of the season against in-conference opponents Embry-Riddle and Rollins College. The Embry-Riddle series will begin this Friday, April 21st, over in Daytona Beach.
The women's golf team participated in the SSC Championship, where they came in at 7th in a very competitive field. They were led by Lauren Perez and Lacey Tucker, who both secured top 20 finishes. Perez locked up her 15th place finish at 11 over par with a couple of birdies on the back 9 of her final round on Tuesday. Tucker tied for the team best score at 3 over par, finishing in 16th place at 12 over. The teams will now await the 2023 NCAA D2 Women's Golf Selection Show on May 1st to determine if they will play at the South Regional. On the men's side, the team will head down to Miami Shores to compete in their SSC Championship hosted by Barry University. That competition will take place April 23rd through the 25th, and you can follow along on fscmox.com.
The postseason is officially just on the horizon for number 29 ranked men's tennis. But first, we have a recap of their past week in competition as they took on Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University and Queens College this past week. The bout versus nationally ranked Embry-Riddle ended in a 5-2 loss over in Daytona Beach as the Mocs lost out on the doubles point following a close tiebreaker and fought valiantly in singles play to earn multiple 3-set victories despite the eventual loss. Next up was number 34 nationally ranked Queens College for Senior Day, and it ended in a 4-3 Mocs win to add to the celebration. Despite losing out on the doubles point, the Mocs fought back across multiple singles courts to secure their 15th win of the season, bringing them to an overall record of 15-8 on the year. As I hinted at earlier, men's tennis has qualified for the playoffs with their triumphant form as they will take their talents to IMG Academy in Bradenton, Florida, to face off against Rollins College in the first round of the SSC Championships tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. We here at FSC TV say good luck to the boys. Bring home some hardware.
And the women's tennis team fell to number 39 Embry-Riddle, losing 3-4. Despite the loss, the Mocs did win the doubles point and were able to win 2 singles courts on the day. This was the last game of the regular season, leaving the team 5th with an in-conference record of 4-5 in the stacked Sunshine State Conference. With their pair of big SSC wins over number 9 ranked Tampa and Palm Beach Atlantic, the Mocs have a favorable seeding in the tournament as they'll face St. Leo in the 4 and 5 seed matchup. The conference tournament begins Thursday and goes through Saturday in Bradenton, where the Mocs will try to keep their NCAA regional tournament hopes alive.
The beach volleyball team traveled to Tavares, Florida this past weekend to compete in the AVCA Small College Championship. On Friday, the Mocs played 2 matches, one against Spring Hill College and the other against Colorado Mesa University, and despite the solid effort put forth by the Mocs, they unfortunately were swept in both contests. On day 2 of the championship series, the Mocs took on Erskine and Tusculum University, where they again fell short in both games. But on Sunday, to finish out the competition, the Mocs went 1 for 2 with a big 3-0 victory against McKendree University. The beach volleyball team finished the AVCA Small College Beach Championship in 9th place after a 3-1 defeat at the hands of Erskine College to end their 2023 season.
And that will bring us to our Week in Mocs History segment. Today we're looking at April 16th, 2000, when the men's golf team won the Sunshine State Conference Championship in New Smyrna Beach, Florida. The SSC title was the team's 4th in a row, and the team would go on to win their 11th national championship in program history just a few weeks later, closing out a dominant decade of golf as the team secured 7 national championships between 1990 and 2000. Now, here in 2023, the Mocs headed back to the Sunshine State Conference Championships. They will travel to Miami Shores, Florida for a 3-round tournament starting on Sunday. This has been the Snakebite with John Kristovich and James Simpson. We will see you next week, Wednesday, 5 p.m.